Hi, I'm Chauncey Navarro, and this is the Inspired Word. We're just going to do a real quick review over Chapter 12 that we went over already. Chapter 12 is one of the parenthetical chapters. In other words, these are events that are taking place throughout some of the period that we've gone through already chronologically. And so they give little time markers and clues to help you associate where they tie in and where they fit. And I try to put some charts up to associate some of this stuff, to correlate it with the Olivet Discourse and the earlier parts of the book. So take the time to stop and look at the chart, see if you can follow the material that I'm putting in there. The first sign in heaven that we had in chapter 12 was the woman giving in birth pains, in labor, ready to give birth to a man-child. And on this one, she's clothed with the sun, the moon under her feet, 12 stars for a crown, which identifies her as the nation Israel, as you see from the dream in chapter 37 of Genesis, where Joseph has a dream that him and his 11 brothers are 12 stars, that his father and mother are the sun and the moon, and in his dream his 11 brothers that are 11 stars bow down to him. And so this identifies the woman as the nation Israel right here, who gives birth to Jesus, who gives birth to the man-child that's going to rule with a rod of iron. It also could represent, too, the 144,000 that will rule with a rod of iron with him. So I don't like to dismiss that out. I believe the majority of the people usually would tie it to Jesus coming from the nation Israel. But if you were going to correlate it in this time frame here, it would work perfectly with the 144,000 that come from the nation Israel, that are 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes of Israel, that are also going to rule with him with a rod of iron. As the prophecy said earlier in the letters to the churches, those that overcome will rule with a rod of iron, as it is written, he'll dash the nations like potsherds. Also in this, we have the picture here where it's showing you the serpent, Satan, the dragon, the seraphim. A lot of people don't realize that seraphim translates fiery flying serpent, and there's direct ties to this, the Tanim, Leviathan, and I have charts also on that material that identify him as the dragon, which is why he was referred to as a serpent in the Garden of Eden, who attacks the woman. The 7 heads, the symbolics in the 7 heads, 7 giving him perfect authority, the head being for authority. 10 horns, horns representing power, for complete power on it. So there's a lot of symbolic meaning besides the actual appearance of here. But then you have him attacking the woman, ready to devour the man-child, but he's caught up into heaven. Now, in this over here, this is where you have war in heaven, where Satan tries to usurp or take over God's throne, and he's cast out of heaven with a third of all of the angels and thrown down to the earth. And it says, "Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, because Satan has been cast down, and he knows he has a little time, because he's accusing the brethren day and night." Which, that's where he's been. He's been before the throne accusing the brethren day and night, but now he no longer has the access and the authority to go before the throne of God in heaven. And as we continue down on this, you see where he attacks the nation Israel to wipe her out. She flees into the wilderness, where she's given 2 wings like the wings of an eagle, which could represent the United States. I say could. It's merely speculation. We don't want to try to jump in too much farther than that, but that he gives her a way to escape, and for a time, times, and half a time, which if it's representing a time representing a year, would mean he's talking about a 2.5-year period right here. Also going through this here, that she's nourished, she's protected. We do know that Christian businessmen, following a lot of the prophecies, have hidden food in the rock city of Petra to prepare for Israel when fleeing into the wilderness. The serpent tries to destroy her with a flood of water from his mouth to carry her away. The earth opens up, swallows up the water, and because of this he's furious, and so he goes to war with everybody. Since he couldn't get Israel, he goes to war with all those that keep the commandments of God, the other children from Israel that keep the commandments of God, that they might be destroyed. so that to take out his wrath on them. And this is how we close up this book, and where we ended up as it starts to lead into chapter 13, where we're going to go on to the beast from the sea and the beast from the earth, the Antichrist and the false prophet. And we'll be covering this material on through here, and so I hope to see you back here for chapter 13 as we continue in our verse-by-verse study through the book of the Revelation of Jesus. Thank you.